So good morning everyone. Welcome to our maths class and hope all of you are keeping well. After the second semester examination, I think it is the our second class. And in first class, if you remember, I have discussed about limit and derivative. So a small discussion was there related to limit, and I told you what is the limit. And side by side, I solved some question also. And one more point, I told you when a given limit will exist in the given question or in given function. These things I told you in last class. I told you if left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, then I can say limit will exist, otherwise limit will not exist. And I think only the discussion was there when the limit will exist and when limit will not exist. But we couldn't solve any question depend on that. I solved two type of the question. One is with the help of factorization and one is with the help of rationalization. And side by side one thing was there, that was I can say formula that limit x tends to a x to the power n minus a to the power n upon x minus a, and it was written as n a to the power n minus 1. It was written, but we couldn't solve any question depend on that. Today I am going to do a question depend on this topic, that's n to the power n x to the power n minus a to the power n upon x minus a is equal to n a to the power n minus 1. And one more thing I would like to tell you today only, in today's class only, that is uh, some questions are there in the given exercise in when a limit will exist, when it will not exist. So as I told you, left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, then limit will exist, otherwise it is not exist. But we couldn't solve any question. Now today we are having some question here when we have to show that given function in given question limit will exist, in given question that is not exist. So such type of things are there in front of you. But before that, I am having one question in front of you. That is question number 18. I can say 18 first part is there. Question number 18 and first part is there. As I told you, the different type of questions we have done. So in this type one question is there, limit x tends to 2, and then after I am having x to the power 10 minus 1024 whole upon x to the power 5 minus 32. I think I can write its limit x tends to 2, x to the power 10 minus 2 to the power 10 whole upon x to the power 5 minus 2 to the power 5. There are two options to do this question. One is with the help of factorization. I can write x to the power 5 the whole square, 2 to the power 5 the whole square. Then in numerator we can use a square minus b square, and one part will eliminate, and for one part we can substitute the value. But side by side one more thing is there. As you know, that we can use one formula, and that to use this formula we have to divide numerator and denominator both by x minus 2. And when it will be divided by x minus 2, it can be written as limit x tends to 2 and x to the power 10 minus 2 to the power 10 upon x minus 2 whole upon x to the power 5 minus 2 to the power 5 whole upon x minus 2. And it can be written as limit x tends to 2 x to the power 10 minus 2 to the power 10 whole upon x minus 2, limit x tends to 2 x to the power 5 minus 2 to the power 5, it is x minus 2. Yeah. Now it can be written as a formula 10 into n into a to the power n minus 1. It means 10 into 2 to the power 10 minus 1 divided by 5 into 2 to the power 5 minus 1. So it is 10 into 2 to the power 9 divided by 5 into 2 to the power 4. When I'll simplify, it is 2 to the power 9 whole upon 5 into 2 to the power 4. When I'll simplify, it is 2, and this one can be written as 2 to the power 10 minus 4, that is equal to the power 6, and that is equal to, I think, 64. This will be the result. Again, I am repeating myself. This will be the result. And the same question we can do by the factorizing also. But why I use this word? Because that will be a general formula which will be used everywhere in our question. Okay. Now, after knowing all these things, as I told you, I'll discuss with you people about that existence of the limit. I can see easily few questions are there, like question number 22. There are two part, and in one part it is there, if fx is there, does limit extends to 1 fx is exist, and in another one we have to show that that limit doesn't exist. So I'm writing that first part of this question number 22 firstly, and then after I'll write the second part also. So here I'm having fx, and it is 1 plus x is square. It is 2 minus x is greater than or equal to 0, less than or equal to 1, and then x is greater than 1. Okay, we have to check whether that limit extends to 1 will exist or not. Limit extends to 1, fx does exist or not. So you can see here, since left hand limit, it can be written as limit extends to 1 minus fx, limit h tends to 0, f1 plus h, limit h tends to 0, 1 plus h the whole square. Yeah, when I substitute h is equal to 0, what I am thinking, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 I limit. Yeah, and now if I take right hand limit, in right hand limit I can write limit x tends to 1 plus fx. It can be written as limit h tends to 0, and it is 1 plus h. And then after I can write limit h tends to 0, 2 minus 1 plus h. Yeah, 2 minus 1 plus h. When I substitute here, x is equal to h is equal to, I get 2 minus 1, that is equal to 1. And here I can see left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit, and if they are not equal, I can say that limit will not exist. Limit will not exist. And then after I want to do some more question for you people, where we have to show that limit doesn't exist. And as already I have done here, limit is not exist. Once again, I want to just do one more question for you people, that in that first one, so it's a question was there na ki does it exist or not. So I checked it and I found it will not exist. But in second part, I think it's written ki so that it is not exist. So if we have to show that it doesn't exist, it means what? Simply we have to solve it. Same process you have to do. If left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, then only limit will exist. And since we have to show that it is not it will not exist, it means left hand limit will not be equal to right hand limit. Okay, now, so I'm not going to do question number 22 second part. Now one question is there, question number 24. Actually I couldn't solve that question number 7 here. 7 and 24 almost it is same type of the question, because in 7 also that one definition was there, fx is equal to something, and then I have to find the limit extends to 1, limit extends to 0, a limit extends to 2. Different things are there. In this question 24, again I am having something like that, question number 24, and here also there are two parts, that I have to find the limit extends to 2 fx, I have to find the limit extends to minus 3 fx, and then the last part of this one is there, I have to just check whether it is exist on x is equal to 0 or not. If no, then we have to explain why it is not exist. In explanation only one thing is there, if left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit, I can say limit will not exist. Simple things are there. If left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit, simply I can say it will not exist. Okay, now listen me carefully what I want to say. So, dear students, as I promised to you people, I'll do one more question, that is question number 24. First of all, I'm writing this question, and then after I told you how to do it and rest all those things. That question number 24, it is fx is equal to 3x minus 1, x is less than 0, it is 0 when x is equal to 0, and it is x is greater than 0, then I may write 2x plus 5. Now we have to evaluate the first part of this question is there. I'm writing here only, or let me write here, then after I'll solve. I have to find limit x tends to 2 fx. The second part of this question is there. I have to find limit x tends to minus 3 fx, and the third part of question is there. It's not written third part, only one statement is there, and it is written, does limit x tends to 0 exist? After question mark question, if no, then explain why it is not existing. So in explanation, only one thing we have to write. If somewhere we are getting that okay, that limit will not exist, so simply we should write one line. Since left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit, that's why limit will not exist. Okay, now move to the point. That first part you can see it's written limit x tends to 2 and fx. I'm not just going to check whether limit will exist at x is equal to 1 or not. The reason is there. Why I'm not checking? The reason is only one thing. Since x is equal to 2 is more than 0. So if it is more than 0, that 2, so either we'll take left hand limit or right hand limit. For both, I'll follow the same definition. And if definition will be same, then they must be equal. They must be equal. And if it is equal, means who is equal? Left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. If it is equal, I can say that it is exist. So I'm not checking here whether that limit will exist or not. That existence I'm not going to check. Directly I'm going to find the value of this one. So when I'll write here limit x tends to 2, at the place of fx I can write 2x plus 5, and then 2 into 2 plus 5, that is equal to 9 again. When I'll do the second part, in second part you can see it's written limit x tends to minus 3 fx. This is limit h tends to 0. No need to write that directly, I can do it. X tends to minus 3, and then fx is, I can write 3x minus 1 because x is less than 0. So I'll get here 3 into minus 3 minus 1, that is minus 9 minus 1, it is minus 10. Easily I can get. Now the third part is there. It's asking limit x tends to 0 fx does exist or not. So to check whether that limit will exist or not, I have to find the left hand limit, I have to find the right hand limit, and if both are equal, then I can say limit will exist. See, here you can see left hand limit x tends to 0 minus fx, limit h tends to 0, 0 minus, it can be written as 0 minus h, and now it is less than 0. So limit 3, 0 minus h minus 1, it is 0. So What I am thinking, the value will be what? Minus 1. Simply I can write minus 1. Okay, and now when I will discuss about the right hand limit, I can write limit x tends to 0 plus fx. Limit h tends to 0 and it is 0 plus h. And 0 plus h means what? It is more than 0. And if it is more than 0, listen me carefully. So what can I write? Limit h tends to 0, 2 times 0 plus h plus 5. 0 tends to here, that is 0 plus 5, that is equal to 5. Now you can see it was minus 1 and it is 5. It was minus 1 and it is 5. Since left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, sorry, not equal to right hand limit, then I can say limit x tends to 0 fx does not exist. Over. That question is over. Okay, now so each and every type of the things we have done in first exercise, and now I'm going to discuss about the second exercise where some trigonometry identities will be used and some new formula are there. So first of all, I'm going to write the formula, and the proof of formula is not required for you people, since you have seen that in syllabus also so many things are removed. So proof of these formulas are not in your use. Only we have to use this formula. So you may write first all these formula, and then after we will use this formula in next exercise. And as I told you, if it is required, we will use trigonometry identities also. Very first day when I discuss limit, I discuss all these things. What we have to do to solve the question. I discuss all these things, and so please let's start. The first formula is there, limit x tends to 0. If I am having somewhere sin x, it can be 0. Limit x tends to 0. If I am having somewhere cos x, that can be written as 1. And limit x tends to 0. If I am having tan x, it can be written as again 0. Then after some new formula, limit x tends to 0. If I am having sin x upon x, it is 1. Limit x tends to 0. If I am having tan x upon x, it can be written as 1. Yeah. The same thing is there if somewhere I am having sin x upon x the whole square, that value will also be 1. If I am having somewhere sin 2x upon 2x and limit x tends to 0, and it's very clear now, if x tends to 0, then definitely 2x will also be tends to 0. So sin 2x upon 2x will be there. It can be written as what I can say 1. So I'm just going to do some question depend on that, and hope this question will be useful for you. So in the starting, you can see that question number 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 till the 2 I can say, even 3, 4 are there where we have to simply substitute the value. And one more thing from here, what I want to tell you, if I am having somewhere x tends to 0, x upon sin x, this value will be also 1. Why I discuss these things? In some question it will come. That's why I discuss. And let me do some question from question number 1 to 2, 3 and 4. Question number 3 only you can see. First part is there, limit x tends to pi by 4 and sin 2x upon x. Do you know, my dear students? Some formula is like that, if I am having somewhere limit x tends to c and it is sin x, directly it can be written as sin c. Directly it can be. So if I'll follow this thing, what will happen? Limit, so sorry, sine 2 into pi by 4 whole upon pi by 4. It is 2, so I am having now sine pi by 2 whole upon pi by 4, and that sine pi by 2 is 1. It's a pi by 4, it is equal to 4 upon pi. Over. I don't think it is very difficult for you. All these things are easy. You will have some different type of question where we have to multiply it by some number in numerator and denominator. That time you may face some problem, like question number 6. You can see 6 first part only I am doing, that limit x tends to 0 sine 3x upon 2x. Now I have to find the value of this one. Now some students can say, sir, sine x upon x, that was 1, but here I am having sine 3x and upon 2x. So if sine 3x upon 3x will be there, that can be written as 1. Here I am not having 3x upon 3x, it is 3x upon 2x. So what should I do? I may write here one line, limit x tends to 0 sine 3x upon 3x into 3 upon 2. 2 I took outside and I multiplied by 3 and divide by 3. So now this 3 upon 2 will come outside as a constant, and that whole will be written as 1. So I have got result 3 upon 2 into 1, that is equal to 3 upon 2. Okay, it is very, very easy for you. Really it is easy. What I am thinking. You should also think like that. Now, at the same time, I am having some other question for you people. Seventh first part you can see. This is, I think, enough space to do seventh first part. A limit x tends to 0. I am having sine 3x upon sine 7x. Okay. Now, you can see this question. It is not in that form what we had learned today. But when I will divide by x, numerator and denominator, means I may write sine 3x upon x. It is sine 7x upon x. So I am having now two functions, that is sine 3x upon x and divided by limit x tends to 0 sine 7 upon x. And if it is 3 as a coefficient of x, then only I can write its value is 1. So I am writing one more line. Okay, it is visible. Limit, it is sine 3x upon 3x into 3 divided by limit x tends to 0 sine 7x upon 7x into 7. Now see, this can be written as 1 and this can be written as 1. So what you have got now, 3 is divided by 7. So what can I write? This implies that 3 upon 7 is the result. 3 is divided by 7 means what? 3 upon 7. Okay, you have got all these things very nicely. And now I'm going to do some other type of the question where we have to use some, I can say, identities. Like question number 11, you can see after using identity, our question will convert in that form what we are knowing, or that formula we are knowing. In that form we can convert it easily. So listen, what I want to say. Question number 11 is there. In question number 11, it's written limit x tends to 0, 1 minus cos 2x upon x square. Yeah. One thing I want to tell you, if I'm having somewhere limit x tends to 0, sine to the power n x upon x to the power n. it can be written as x tends to 0 sine x upon x and whole to the power n. Even this result is also 1. Okay, now listen me what I want to say here. Actually, you may think about like that ki sir, in your question there is no any sign. Then what is the use of discussing this question, this formula? So I want to tell you this is an important formula, and this formula will be used here in this question. How to use? I'm telling you. See, it's a limit x tends to 0, 1 minus, it can be written as 1 minus 2 sine square x whole upon x square. This is limit x tends to 0, 1 minus 1 plus 2 sine square x upon x square, they can eliminate. Now if I take 2 outside, limit x tends to 0 sine x upon x the whole square, and this is 1, so 2 into 1 can be written as 2. That will be the result. Hope you have got this question, and what I am thinking, it is an easy question. Now a few more type of the questions are there what I want to discuss with you people. Question number 12, first part also, it is little bit different from the previous one. Question number 12, first part, you can see question number 12, limit x tends to 0 tan 2x minus sine 2x whole upon x cube. I have to find the value of this one. Evaluate it. What should I do? First of all, I would like to erase it, and then after I'll discuss this question. Do one thing. First of all, you can change that tan in sine and cos, and after that, this is 0. So sine 2x upon cos 2x minus sine 2x whole upon x cube. What I am thinking, it can be written as 0 sine 2x common, and here, okay, let me write one line, then after I'll do it. It's the cos 2x minus 1 whole upon x cube. It is limit x tends to 0 sine 2x upon x. Here I can write x square into cos 2x 1 minus cos 2x. Now see, I'm writing one line. Hope you will agree with me. Sine 2x upon x into, I'm writing here that 1 minus 2 sine square x whole upon x square, and this one also I am taking separately, x tends to 0 1 upon cos 2x. My dear students, do you know what will happen? 2 into limit x tends to 0 sine 2x upon 2x I can write. This value will be 1. Here 1 will be cancel, and I'll get 2 I can take outside, limit x tends to 0, and I'll get here sine square x upon x square, that will be 1, and here also I can put 1 upon cos 2 into 0. This will be 1, this will be 1, and that cos 0 is also 1. So our result will be, I think, 2 into 2 into 1, that is equal to 4. This will be the result. So this was the few things what I want to discuss today with you people, and since we are having time in limit, so I'll take one more class for the limit, and then it will be completed. And only these two exercises we have to learn. Third exercise is totally depend on the exponential and logarithm. Since exponential and logarithm is not there in our syllabus, so we need not to discuss about it. And then after we will start derivative. Okay. So in derivative, how to differentiate the given function, and how to find the formula. All these things I'll discuss with you people. Till then, please try to solve the rest of the question. Hope you will do the question, and the most important thing is there, it's my request to each and everyone, please try to attend your offline classes. What I'm thinking, this is really important for you. At least in offline classes, you can discuss your problem uh, easily, and you can get the solution of your problem also. And if you will come to a school, so definitely you must have experienced it, that the difference between both time when you were regular in a school, and now due to the COVID-19 we are not able to attend our classes. So both experiences are there with you, and you can easily take decision for all these things. Okay, thank you, have a good day.